Did you know that there is just one Bible? Let's talk about it. The Bible, people think, consists of the Old Testament and the New Testament. So, from a Christian perspective, and I've run into this over the years, that Christians think, well, the Old Testament, that was then, but now we have the New Testament. Jesus, the Gospels and the writings of Paul, and etc. And then for Jewish people, of course, and like when I was growing up, all I knew was the Tanakh, the Hebrew Scripture, and then the New Testament. That was for Christians. That was for the Gentiles. That was not for us. And in fact, if you read it, if you were Jewish and you read the New Testament, something bad was going to happen to you. You're going to get cursed or something like that, right? And so, as I came to investigate for myself the validity of the Bible, whether it was what's called the Old Testament or the New Testament, I came to understand a few things. One, first of all, that it's one Bible. Now, that might sound obvious to a lot of people, but if we dig into that idea a little bit, I think it will help, whether you're Jewish, believer in Yeshua, not a believer in Yeshua, Gentile, Christian, and so on. So we start with the idea that, of course, what's called the Old Testament, now growing up, we never called it the Old Testament. It was the Hebrew Scriptures or the Tanakh. But actually, the Old Testament, what Christians call the Old Testament, is the very same thing as the Hebrew Scripture. The only difference is that the order of the books is different. The Old Testament is really, really important. And the reason why it's important is if we take away the Old Testament and just read the New Testament, we miss so much of who Yeshua is, what he came to do, and so forth, because it's written about him throughout the Hebrew Scriptures. For Christians, the Old Testament, Hebrew Scriptures, should be just as important, but it leads to the New Covenant, because the New Covenant, the New Testament is the fulfillment and the fullest picture of who Messiah is. For Jewish people, for myself, when I first opened the New Testament, my biggest surprise was how Jewish it is. And I come to find out that all the books of the New Testament were written by Jews. How important it is for us to understand, whether you're Jewish or Gentile, Jewish believer, non-believer in Yeshua, Christian, that this indeed is one book.